So accompanying the explosion of AI tools is the demand surge for AI chips. And the main provider of these AI chips are Nvidia. They are really struggling to keep up the supply for this demand surge. And because of that, these three top Nvidia competing crypto altcoins are plainly speaking out for Nvidia's blood. So if you missed the blow up of Nvidia like I did, then you have a second chance, but only if you make it to the end of this video. But before we get into the crypto, we really have to get into the story of AI and Nvidia. So one reason why Nvidia is booming is because of AI. Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Stability AI, and many more are competing against each other for Nvidia's 8100 chips. These are the flagship GPUs for AI processing. And Nvidia is really having trouble keeping up with these production issues because of the lack of resources, there's supply chain issues, and simply there's just way too much demand coming from these AI companies. Not a bad problem, but still, these AI companies don't just want their A100 chips, they also want all of their other chips. Now, I went ahead and asked AI, ironic, about the forecast of the prices for the A100s, and this is what it said. So if you ask Nvidia what the forecast is for the A100s in March 2024, well, when we started off in 2021, they were worth 10K. That was what they were going for, and over 4 years, they appreciated to $18,000 projected by the end of March 2024. Now, it isn't the end of March yet, but if you go around and look on Google for the price of A100s, you'll see many going for well above 18K. So this presents a great opportunity for our first crypto recommendation, which is Render, RNDR. Now, I talked about them at length in other videos, so I won't go into depth about Render in today's video, but their business model is basically decentralized GPU marketplace, which allows all of these AI companies to scale their AI training models at cost, which is great for the AI industry. So Stability AI is already trying to integrate their models with Render. So if all of that made no sense, here's an analogy. So this is how you want to imagine it. Imagine that Render is kind of like Amazon. And here you are, this is you, and you have all these GPUs in the form of your computers and devices and things like that, right? So you are the seller. And what you're going to do is you're going to lease the processing power to Render, which is like Amazon, and Microsoft, Google, and OpenAI. Well, these guys are all the buyers, right? So they need processing power, so they're going to go to Amazon, or not Amazon, Render in this case, and they're going to buy your GPU processing power in order for them to power their AI apps. Now, sadly for Render, there is competition on the horizon, and that competitor is called Akash. Now, they have their own marketplace or network, which they call the super cloud. And there's not much to understand because they work the same way. They allow companies like Google to go and lease processing power from their super cloud. And not only that, guys, if you go to Akash Network, their site, these are some key features. So you can host your applications on the super cloud. You could take advantage of persistent storage, which means you could store things like images, videos, much the same way as you would store them on Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, except the pricing is so much better, because if you take a look at the price comparison here on Akash, it would be $5.83, whereas comparably on AWS, it's $32, $36 on Google, and $39 on Microsoft Azure. So that's a savings of 84%. So the best thing about this is that you can't get shut down, which is the real risk. Remember when Trump's social accounts all got shut down? Well, the same thing can happen when you build on top of Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. They can shut you down. So imagine you had like $1 million business, multi-million dollars to make it hurt more. And you're built on top of Amazon or Microsoft or Google, and all of a sudden, without any reason whatsoever, they decide to shut you down. Well, your income just suddenly flatlines and you're left penniless. That literally cannot happen on Akash because because it is decentralized and it is cheaper. So we're just waiting for it to get adopted because as it stands, it's a straight no-brainer. Now, we talked about Render and we talked about Akash, and they're both great, but we saved the best for last, and it's the mech daddy of them all, and that is Theta. Now, I made a library of Theta videos if you want to go in depth on Theta, but with the recent developments of Theta, these developments is what I believe Theta is the next Nvidia. So Theta themselves have a global network of 10,000 edge nodes, and they call this the Theta Edge Network, and these nodes are just clusters of GPUs. So the total processing power of this network equates to 2,500 A100s, more than enough to power the largest LLMs, large language models in the world. But it doesn't stop there, you see. Theta is also looking for ways to onboard your Android phones and TVs for AI processing. And this is the way to earn passive income while you sleep, because when you're not using your phone or your TV while you're sleeping, you can go and rent it out to the other side of the world who's awake and make money in the process. So that's 3.9 billion Android devices and 150 million Android TV that Theta is targeting. So while Nvidia is out there mining minerals in order to create chips, these three crypto alternatives are out there trying to make use of what is already made and out there. And if you want to learn more about these three crypto alternatives, I left the videos to go more in depth about Render, Akash, and Theta in the description below. So check that out.